City food markets are lively, colourful and full of wonderful aromas. They tell us what food locals eat and what their habits are. Food markets tell city people that spring is late, that summer has been warmer and drier than usual, that winter has closed in. They help us understand a fundamental issue of our time, where our food comes from and how it's produced. Ljubljana is the capital of one of Europe's smallest and youngest countries. Slovenia has a high-income economy with its inequality amongst the lowest in the world. Ljubljana is also called the City of Bridges. The Ljubljanka River flows through it, as well as around its 11th century castle on the central hill. Ljubljana was established during the medieval era, then rebuilt after the devastating earthquake of 1511 with a strong Italian Baroque influence. 380 years later, another earthquake demanded another reconstruction, this time in the Vienna Secession style. Ljubljana is situated on a trade route that connects the Adriatic Sea with the Danube region. Consequently, its food culture has Italian, Austrian, Croatian and Hungarian influences. This great variety is illustrated by the multitude of seasonal foods on sale at the market. The remarkably functional market, divided into areas according to produce, offers different meats, fish, vegetables, fruits, bread, and tasty varieties of cheese. And at the central market of Ljubljana, we discover foods that are part of a much less known culinary tradition.
Wow, these are beautiful.
Seasonality reigns at the market, and spring is the season for cherries. Alenka and her mother are proud to serve their customers with what they have personally cultivated and harvested.
We start selling our first cherries to the market in Ljubljana between May the 7th and 15th, depending on the harvest and how soon the early cherries ripen. We finish at the end of June with the last cherries.
That's 2 intense months of harvesting and travelling to the market every other day in the early morning.
It's very important that the fruit we pick reaches the market the next morning and that it gets sold. We can't store it because then it loses flavour.
Today, they know their customers, and their customers know them.
We know which customers arrive at 9 o'clock precisely, then at 11 o'clock, so it's nice. It's a nice feeling. The feeling of life, the feeling of something beautiful. Yes, no problem. They're all so sweet. They are, sure. You see? I know what you like. Look how beautiful they are. Look how black, how beautiful.
And there are always new, young customers asking for explanations, which Alenka willingly supplies.
Hi, madam, what can I get for you?
Those cherries, are they fresh?
Yes, fresh. We grew them ourselves. These are kanyuke. When you go to the market, here's what you need to see in a cherry. The stem has to be fresh and the cherry has to be shiny. If it's dull, it's been in storage, so that's not quite right. See, if you look carefully, you can see that it's shiny, it's beautiful, it's fresh, it's firm. It's not that big.
Just right for a pie.
Pie perfect, yes.
Alenka's family house is in Brda, a beautiful hilly area with tiny villages scattered near the Italian border. Due to the mild Mediterranean climate and soil typically made up of layers of marl, sandstone and clay, Brda cherries are famously plump and sweet. By the 19th century, the area's cherries were already famous in Vienna, Prague and even St. Petersburg. Today, the family is heading out to pick cherries in their 4-hectare orchard.
Let's get to work, Stefan. It's going to be a long day. It's going to be sunny and hot, so we need to hurry. Cherries were planted here in the Gorishka region as early as the era of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. There was a big cherry orchard in front of the house, and they harvested the cherries, then sold them in Klagenfurt, in Białystok. They went to Austria to sell them.
Prices dropped while the area was under the control of Italian fascists, and after World War II, most of the farms were abandoned. It's only in recent decades that cherries have become profitable again, and so farmers, like Alenka's father, started replanting trees.
He looked for wild cherries in the forest, planted them in a ploughed, well-kept plot of land, then grafted them the following year. He grafted these 2 cherry varieties onto these wild cherry rootstocks. And of course, today these cherries are big trees.
Of 1,000 different cherry varieties, 2 here are particularly good. The Napoleon variety furnishes its last fruits, while the Kanyuka variety is ripening.
These kanyuka can stay on the tree for up to a month. If conditions are good, if there's no rain and there's no humidity, it will survive. And the longer it's on the tree, the blacker it gets and the sweeter it gets.
Cherries are Alenka Markutz-Zagosian's favorite fruit. They are distinctive for their flavor, as well as for the cultural and economic implications they have for the region.
This is the only fruit that can be consumed in unlimited quantities by diabetic patients. Dad, can you come here? Hey, come here.
Ah, those are Napoleons.
Yes. In addition, the cherry is a fruit that cleanses the body. If we eat a lot of cherries, we need to pee more.
Nature was generous to our piece of land.
So it purifies the body. It's good for the blood, and they say, or rather they've discovered, that cherries contain happiness hormones.
Overripe cherries are separated from the good ones to be transformed into jams, compote, and even liqueur.
Daj koso, czerieśnie zdriele, serca nasza soboj vesela, saj ta prvi briški sad, kapne varžet prvi saut. Ta prvi briški sad, kapne varžet prvi saut.
One product on sale in the market that's not especially well known is elderflower syrup. Here called Sabisa, it has excellent health benefits.
We have litre bottles.
But it's homemade, isn't it?
It's homemade. We made it a month ago now. That's what my sister does.
Great.
Such a refreshing drink for the summer.
Great, thank you very much.
It's sold on different stalls, but not easy to find. Maria comes to the market whenever she can. She's one of the people who make elderflower juice, and she's here to buy lemons.
I like to come to the market to have a chat. And another thing is, I always want to have the right relationship with the farmer who planted everything.
Hello, what can I get you?
A kilogram of lemons. I'm going to need them to make shebesa.
Maria has her favorite suppliers at the market. After her morning visit, she's planning to go back to her home village of Jezersko, a beautiful region 1 hour north of the city. She loves long forest walks with her husband, looking for elder trees. They make tea from its leaves and use its berries for jams and syrups. But now it's the flowers she wants. Maria is careful to harvest them when they contain all their flavor.
If it's raining, no way. Also not immediately after rain. The rain basically washes everything away.
Maria Merljak grew up on a farm where she paid attention to what older people were saying about health and food. Now she's a food engineer, often seen on national TV explaining the nutritional properties of herbs, flowers, vegetables and fruits. Jezersko is just at the foot of the Alps, bordering Austria, and here nature has a lot to offer.
I still remember well now. If someone had sore bones, they reached for nettles. Then there were potatoes for headaches. And I was always interested in what these people were saying. I was a little girl then.
The elderflowers will be used for a simple, unpasteurized drink that retains most of the plant's health properties.
Do you have any idea how important vitamin B1 is for short-term memory? Then there's lots of vitamin C and also E. These are the 3 basic vitamins which we've preserved.
Vitamins can survive the pasteurization process, but minerals can't. So this way, quercetin is not lost when making syrup.
It's such a great help against viruses and great for the cardiovascular system. Then there's another thing, rutin. This does wonderful things for our brains. But you know, a lot has already been written about fruiting. And let me tell you, it's anti-Alzheimer's.
In vam povem, to je proti Alzheimerju.
Even though not every study has been approved, Maria is very assertive and positive about these ingredients' success in fighting our era's most common sicknesses. She uses just 4 lemons, half a kilogram of sugar, and 100 milliliters of vinegar for her syrup. After it's been prepared and left to rest, the drink is filtered and can be kept in the fridge for a few days.
We make it fresh, but these flowers can also be frozen. And that way we can make shebesa in the middle of winter. But we can't freeze shebesa.
Maria also loves making a little dessert by frying flowers she's dipped into a mixture of flour and water, like a sort of elderflower tempura.
When we smell pleasant scents, something beautiful happens in our brain. We also produce feel-good neurotransmitters faster.
Finally, the time has come to taste the delicious flavors collected from the surrounding countryside.
It's really tasty, but you know how good it is.
Heading south to the 46-kilometre strip of land on Slovenia's Adriatic coast, tourism and salt harvesting are essential economic activities. Perhaps the most famous salt pans are in the area close to the city of Piran. Here, salt is produced using methods dating back 700 years. Osman works on these pans and knows the process better than anyone.
So literally it feels like I fell from the moon into these salt pans, and that's what I call this, finding myself in this mud.
His job is to harvest the salt and put it out to dry before it's sent for packaging. Osman Dedic is proud not only to be working in such a unique place, but also to have such an extensive knowledge of this simple, ancient process.
Every pool has its own opening in the ground, and we have to fill each pool individually, so the maximum water height is 4 to 5 centimeters. If it's more than that, then it doesn't evaporate.
Once the water has entered, it's left to evaporate, producing a brackish water. Obviously, the weather plays its part. Even salt is a seasonal product.
The best conditions are when a mistral wind blows in from the sea and there's dry air. This means sun, dry air and wind. And this happens mainly in July and August, when the days are longest.
Once the water has reached a concentration of 26 to 30% salt, it's taken to the crystallization pool.
Every day when we arrive, we pick up the salt flowers, which are the tiny crystals that stay on top of the water's surface. The salt is the thicker crystals, which are heavier and stay at the bottom of the pool.
What makes it so unique is that this salt doesn't mix with sea mud, thanks to a special film called petula, a 2-centimeter layer of algae, gypsum and minerals.
So salt is made on petula. If you damage the petula, then the salt mixes with the mud. Sometimes, if I make a hole in the pool, I have to mark it, and I cannot rake salt around it for 1 square metre because it always flakes off and mixes with the salt. And then you just have road salt.
This salt has a protected designation of origin, just like champagne, Parma ham and Parmesan cheese. Piran salt is now sold directly to customers in a small shop close to the market. Its mineral composition is rich, with a remarkably distinct flavour. Fleur de sel enhances salads, carpaccios, seafood specialities and other culinary delicacies that are seasoned after serving.
So what do you need?
Piran salt.
I see.
Any tourists?
Yes, some, mainly Americans.
Good news. Here we go, Piran salt.
Great.
Slovenian chefs, now on the rise internationally, use it in many different and surprising ways. Here, it's part of a dessert, olive oil and vanilla ice cream coated with dark chocolate and a pinch of salt. Ljubljana's central market is also called the Plečnik market, after the architect who designed the renovation of the old market square. Noah writes about art history and food. On one of the lower floors of the long construction running alongside the river is the section dedicated to fish. It was designed to make it easy for the vendors to wash and discard the remains of the fish in the river. Here they offer fresh and seawater fish which comes from the rivers, the lakes and Adriatic Sea, just an hour and a half away.
Hello, how are you?
Great. What about you?
Excellent. You have such a great selection. What's best today?
There's some sea bass, sea bream, toothfish, scup. The robalo is first class.
Wow, great. I'll go fetch my bag. I'll be right back.
Okay, off you go.
Fish trading has decreased over the years, and a few rooms are now dedicated to other activities. A young art cooperative rented this one. It's Noah's favourite meeting place.
Živijo. Kako si kaj?
Jaz sem dobra, kaj pa ti?
Ja, odlično, vesel, da sem tu.
I found this book in Kamnik.
Great. I live in Kamnik. Did you go for a visit?
Yeah, I went with a friend. And I saw this book in a shop there.
So that's for Olga, right?
Yes, that's right.
He's an American professor of art history and has written several books on the subject, some of which have become bestsellers. After studying in London and Paris, Dr. Noah Charney moved to Slovenia to better understand the work of the architect who helped shape modern Ljubljana. Jože Plečnik, known for the iconic Triple Bridge, grew up in a neighbourhood of the city at the end of the 19th century.
He studied in Vienna, and he was the star architect of what at the time was the best architecture school in Europe. But he always wanted to return to Ljubljana to help rebuild the city, which had been badly damaged by an earthquake in 1895.
In 1939, he completed his plans for the Central Market, one of the many city buildings and spaces he designed.
Most of the major public structures that were rebuilt after that earthquake were designed by Jože Plečnik. There's more of Plečnik's imprint on Ljubljana than, for example, Antoni Gaudi's on Barcelona. It really is Plečnik's city.
This market is unique in Europe, combining open and closed spaces, colonnades and terraces.
Plečnik viewed Ljubljana as sort of a cultural backwater when he was growing up, and he tried to use architecture to elevate its status as a cultural capital of Europe. He did so by conceiving of Ljubljana as a new Athens, and in fact he managed to build most of the public structures or squares that would have appeared in an ancient Greek polis or city, and one of them is the marketplace.
Strolling around the market is one of Noah's favorite activities, uniting his two passions.
Plečnik envisioned a separation of different types of sellers at the market. One section for butchers, one section for fishmongers, one section for vegetables, one for fruit, and one for dry goods, which is things made out of wood or braided out of rattan.
Noah knows a good number of market vendors and their products, and yet there are always new ones to surprise him.
Good day, honey. How are you? I haven't seen you for ages.
Yeah, true.
I came for this interesting cauliflower. What is it?
It's mixed with beetroot.
And how do you cook it? Same as usual?
Just like normal cauliflower. It fades a little.
What a beautiful color. That'll do nicely.
No, super. When I step into Plečnik's Central Market, I get a feeling that it's a space designed for human interaction. It gives you a positive vibe, and it's important to keep in mind that great architecture is about creating spaces that you feel good in. It's also very cleverly designed in a way that functions with the contemporary needs of a market as much as it did 70 years ago when he first designed it.
Ljubljana, which was awarded the official European Green Capital title some years ago, has 542 square meters of green space per inhabitant, the highest percentage in Europe. Over the centuries, the city has confronted its urban planning with great determination. Its architecture marks the different social, political, and historical periods it's experienced. Some years ago, on the top of the city's socialist-built cultural center, the first purpose-built urban beehives were set up. Linking the rivers, trees, and parks to heavily constructed areas, a culture of beekeeping thrives. Nowadays, a so-called bee path means that an estimated 800 hives are nestled on the roofs across the city centre. Goraz is one of the founders of the Urban Beekeepers Association and takes care of dozens of them. Here he is on a hotel rooftop.
We share this space with the bees because this human need for closeness or coexistence with bees has existed since man first became aware of life on this planet.
The bees that thrive here are Carniolan honeybees. They are originally from Slovenia, the Austrian Alps and the northern Balkans.
This Carniola lavender bee is a priceless heirloom from our ancestors.
It has a great capacity for defending itself against insect pests, and the community is particularly able to adjust worker population to nectar availability.
The Carniola lavender bee is also the most suited to urban beekeeping because of its qualities like its calmness, its non-aggressiveness, and its ability to survive winter. It is also well adapted to living and interacting with humans. I have an instinct for how the bees are feeling, or you can see by their behavior if there's something wrong with the hives.
The association's aim is to share urban beekeeping practices and to help citizens or businesses who want to put beehives on their rooftops.
The difference between urban and countryside beekeeping is essentially just the location. Research and practice show that bees thrive very well in towns.
Goraz Tršnovec has been the leader of the Urban Beekeeping Association since it started. He's a club mentor, instructor and lecturer with a recognized beekeeping certificate. Once he has collected the trays loaded with honey, he uses one of the hotel rooms to centrifuge it. The honey will then be shared between the hotel management and Goraz himself, who will sell it at the market. The city of Ljubljana is very proactive, offering numerous incentives for beekeepers, as well as planting perennials in public areas so the bees never run out of food. The honey Goraz collects from the beehives throughout the summer is brought to the market the first Saturday of October. His children love coming to the market with him. Though fascinating, market customers view urban beekeeping with a little skepticism.
What kind of honey do you have?
We're from the Urban Beekeeper Association. We have honey from the city within the ring road produced in Ljubljana.
University research and studies into heavy metals in urban honey generally show the percentage is so low it's neither significant nor harmful.
We send our honey for analysis, for evaluation. for competitions. And even the most rigorous agricultural analysis by reference laboratories and institutes hasn't detected any suspicious residues from urban activities in these honeys. You can try a little. We have a floral one and a forest one. Depends on when it was collected.
Instead, bees can help us detect city air pollution as they don't survive in polluted areas.
We also have a book on beekeeping, or bees if you're interested.
Great, I'll take a floral and a forest one.
Okay, ready. You're done.
Thank you very much. Goodbye. Have a nice weekend.
Take care.
Autumn's vegetables have now taken over a great many stalls. This one is famous for its cabbage.
Do you also have turnips?
Yes, turnips.
Do you have fresh goods?
Nice and fresh.
A fresh one. Can I try it?
You can.
Great.
Will you try first a turnip?
I'll try a few turnips.
Here you go.
Stanislav comes to the market every day to buy the different vegetables he needs for the preparation of traditional jota soup.
It's great, right? 1.5 kilos, same bag, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, we've done this one.
I'll take some more onions as well.
You can help yourself, Stanislav, same as usual.
I buy the ingredients for jota at the market, which is very convenient because it's very close to the restaurant. And it's always fresh. Can you give me a little garlic, please? And some potatoes, too.
Jota soup is mainly prepared in the Karsik region, on the southern border with Italy, where fermented cabbage and turnips are staple foods. Once he's done the shopping, he can start preparing the soup in the little eatery he has on the road leading to the market.
The secret of good jota is time and the quality of your ingredients. Some customers want it with turnips and some with cabbage. I've made it simpler and use half and half. Then I add onions, garlic, beans, and bay leaf.
Jota is often prepared with spare ribs, but Stanislav does it differently.
I cook jota without meat because there are more and more vegetarians out there. If the customer requests it with meat or with carniolan sausage, we slice half of one into the jota.
Today, Stanislav Logar is delighted to have revived traditional Slovenian products and to offer them to both locals and tourists. His shop is now one of the most famous in town. Stanislav's son is heating the carniolan sausage they serve with the soup.
When I first started selling carniolan sausage, it was a little neglected.
The Kranjska Klopska, as it's called in Slovenian, comes from the northwestern region of Carniola, and it's had a protected geographical indication certificate since 2015.
Carniolan sausage is made from pork, around 75 to 80%. And then there's 25 or 20% bacon, salt, pepper, and garlic.
And to be given this name, it has to be made with local pork, respecting these precise proportions. Then it is put in boiling water and served.
The usual accompaniment for Carniolan sausage is mustard or horseradish on the side, and a bread roll.
Stanislav's life changed 10 years ago when he decided to transform the tiny shop the family had run for 75 years, fixing and selling watches. Then the digital age arrived.
My dad was a clockmaker like my granddad, and so was I for 15 years. Ljubljana was developing quickly then, and tourists started coming. With clocks, there was always less work and less repairs.
Being so close to the market was key to that decision.
Having a market nearby is very important to me. That way, what I buy isn't far away. Plus, tourists always go to the market to have a look, and they pass by me, and then they come back.
The market's open spaces host a variety of activities. Architect Pliechnik designed the area to be flexible but organized. One area that gets crowded every Friday between May and October is the open space in front of the portico. On these Fridays, locals can find food specialities from all over the world. The open kitchen attracts younger generations in particular. The caterers here are required to offer specialities on plastic-free and eco-friendly plates. Any food that hasn't been sold is donated to people in need. After World War II, the market expanded across the ground floor of the theological seminary. With 40 stalls, one can find pretty much the entire country represented. From ham from the Karst Plateau to Carniolan sausages, from a range of cookies to different versions of the potica roll. And of course, cheese.
Do you want to take a look at it? Like this?
Here, Katerina sells the cheese that her family produces in the Upper Carniola region. Despite their long tradition of cow breeding and milk production, they used to make only a few basic kinds of cheese.
I'm looking for clotted cream.
We have some. It's fresh. It was picked up this morning. Do you want to try it?
Yes, please.
Always especially appreciated is the soft, creamy one eaten on its own or used to make a potica dessert.
Is it okay?
Yes. Do you have it for potica too?
Sure. This is great for potica. I also spread it on bread with a little honey. It's great for breakfast.
Her family has produced milk for 3 centuries, and Katerina's parents were among the first to establish a private dairy in Slovenia.
My parents' wish was first and foremost to offer the best that milk can produce. 35 years ago, my father took over the farm, and together with Mom, they decided cheese-making and cheese was the way forward.
Today, they produce a variety of cheeses.
Do you want to taste it?
Yes, please.
One that is renowned is their Kozov cheese.
Half a Kozov cheese, please.
Yes, I have this much. Do you want the whole half?
Yes, the half.
Great.
Michelin-star restaurant owners come here every week for their supply. Back when the country was called Yugoslavia, the dairies were state-owned and cheese production was not so advanced. Today, many appreciate the variety and quality that Katerina's family and other farmers are developing. Only 40 minutes away by car, we enter the Slovenian Alps, where Katerina's family have their farm. The Gorenjska region is famous for its winter skiing resorts, its good food, and its hikes along the Poljanska Sora River, one that comes from the alpine glacial lakes. The old family house with its stables, dairy production facilities, and living quarters stands in Gorenja Vas. Today, they have a herd of 65 milk cows and also process milk for another 5 farms in the area. Katerina's brother is the one who takes care of them.
Biba, come here. Come and help me. We got 1,400 litres of milk today.
Is everything good?
Yes, it's fine.
What about the cows?
One's limping, but otherwise they're healthy.
Great. Nico, my brother, takes care of the farm management. He takes care of the cattle farming and milk production. My sister-in-law, his wife Anna, currently takes care of the cheese factory management. And I mostly manage the organizational and business aspects.
Even though they have the most contemporary equipment necessary to meet the European Union's requirements, it's still a family-run dairy where tradition reigns.
This cream is produced like this. The milk gets heated to a very high temperature. Then it gets poured into smaller containers and is left to cool down. And basically, that temperature causes a thick layer of cream to build up on top.
Katerina Ursic is proud that her parents' goal has been fulfilled and that their cheese-making has developed so it's appreciated in and outside the country. They now produce over 60 products and 15 to 20 different kinds of cheese. Of these, the smear-ripened cheese, placed in brine and then left to mature, has gained international recognition. Sitting at a cafe in the market provides a great opportunity to watch the people of Ljubljana go shopping, to enjoy coffee, and to taste the desserts the country is so proud of. One of the most extraordinary desserts, originally from the northeasternmost region of Slovenia on the border with Hungary, is Primorska gibanica. Mika Bala comes from Pregmurje and has been cooking and baking her regional specialities for over 30 years. She makes her gibanica according to the oldest traditions.
When you make gibanica, you have to be careful that it's not dry. You have to have dough that is moist all the time.
Written records of Pregmushka gibanica date back to the 1700s, when it was first mentioned as gibanca.
We make a pastry, puff pastry. Then we also make the rolled out pastry. After that, there are the fillings. Poppy seeds first, then cottage cheese, walnuts, and after that, apples. Then we repeat everything we did. Altogether, there should be 17 layers.
Some say gibanica comes from the word for baker, others from the many layers of its dough.
What, Boshko? What? Nuts?
Yes. What else?
Well, can you add apples?
Apples first.
The layers, whether they are straight and the right thickness, that's the most important thing when it comes to gibanica, the layers.
Once cooked and cut into blocks, each layer can be seen and tasted.
What would you like?
I'd like some gibanica, one piece, please.
Of course, with pleasure.
Will you bring it outside?
I can bring it outside, yes.
Thank you.
Being on the square, or the platsch, as the whole market complex is called in the local dialect, is so comfortable, it's a pure pleasure. The Ljubljana Central Market is not only at the centre of city life, but also at the centre of the whole Slovenian countryside.
Zdravje.